Hello, welcome to Bhagavad Gita Practitioner Day 2. It was in year 2000 when I read srimadbhagwadgita the first time, and I got to know that it contains 18 chapters. It has 700 verses. And when I read the first chapter, which was the dejection of Arjun Vishad Yog, which is like the depression of Arjuna, I thought this chapter is quite boring, to be very honest, because in that particular chapter, in the first chapter, it was all that Arjuna was seeing the warriors and saying that I won't fight. He was saying it to Shri Krishna. So I thought this chapter doesn't like adds value to my life. It's so boring. But later, as I started reading the summaries of Bhagavad Gita, the commentaries on Bhagavad Gita by different teachers, different spiritual gurus, then I realized that this is one of the most important chapter. Like it's like the foundation, the base. Why I say that? Because when any patient go to a doctor, he says, and if he's a qualified, seasoned, experienced doctor, what's the first thing that he'll do is he'll try to check the problem. He'll try to check the issue, the right issue. First, he'll identify the problem. Then only he will do the diagnosis. And first, identifying the problem is the base of this first chapter, like what actually the problem was. So we'll not go in further details. We'll just do one thing. The first chapter has 47 verses. So we'll start with the first verse. Let us see what this first verse holds for us. Okay, here is Srimad Bhagavad Gita, lovely picture of Arjuna and God Shri Krishna riding on the chariot. Here it's written Krishnat Param Kimapi Tattva Maham Najani. Om Shri Paramatmane Nama, Bhagavad Gita, the Song Divine, Chapter 1. So it says Dhritarashtra Ovach Dharam Chetre Kurukshetre Samveta Yuyutsava Mamakaha Pandavaschev Kim Kurvart Sanjay. The meaning is written. It says Dhritarashtra Ovach means Dhritarashtra said, Sanjay, gathered on the holy land of Kurukshetra, eager to fight, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? So I read it from the Chinmaya mission. This verse found that it's the key things that key takeaway that I had from this first verse is that this is the only verse that in the entire Bhagavad Gita, which has 700 verses, this is the only verse that Dhritarashtra speaks. Apart from this, Dhritarashtra doesn't speak. In this verse, in this verse only, Dhritarashtra asks Sanjay to tell me the reporting about the war, the battlefield that is going on. Like nowadays, the battle between Ukraine and Russia is going on. It's not. It's a sensitive issue. So in the same way, Dhritarashtra asked Sanjay. This is the only one question that he asked, like what is happening when my sons and sons of Pandus are there. So I read it in the Chinmaya mission. It is saying that it's only one thing that Dhritarashtra asked. Now, when I check and compare the ISKCON Bhagavad Gita Chinmaya mission and the Jay Dayal Goenkaji's Gita Press one, all of them have written almost the same thing, that it has in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, this fight happens. But when I see this Bhagavad Gita where it written God talks with Arjuna, this one, in this Paramhans Yoganand has mentioned that this particular verse in itself is like contains a lot of things, like Dhritarashtra watch. So this Dhritarashtra is a symbol of the sensory mind, the mind which is actually governed by the senses. And Dharamkshetra, Kurukshetra, he symbolizes it with our human body. Dharamkshetra means the war, the religious place, the pilgrimage place. And Kurukshetra, externally, it may be a place near Haryana, in Haryana. But Kurukshetra, Paramhans Yoganand says it's like our body. And Samveta Yoyotsava. Samveta means gathered, Yoyotsava means eager to fight. Now, Mamaka means mine, and Pandavascha Chev means one on one side it's Pandav, and on the other side it's the Kauravas. So Paramans Yoganand says the Pandavas represent symbolically the tendencies of good in self-discipline, self-control, self-mastery tendency, and Kauravas represents the tendencies to work according to the to mind. Whatever feelings are generated, one will do accordingly. So when we wake up in the morning, we tend to fulfill our responsibilities towards our personal life and business life. And at the end, in the night, when we sit, we can remember this verse, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Dharamkshetre Kurukshetre Samveta Yuyotsava Mamaka Pandavaschev Kim Kurvarta Sanjaya, means throughout the day, when this fight was there on the spiritual level, psychological level, and on the mental front, who actually won? At the night, in the night, we can decide, we can check, like, did we win the day, or did the temptations win? Who actually is the winner of the day? So we can decide. This simple shloka or the verse means one needs to ask Sanjay. Sanjay here represents symbolically the introspection, the impartial introspection, and Dhritarashtra represents the mind, the blind. King represents the mind. So the mind asks the introspection between the fight of the self-discipline and the mental tendencies to follow the feelings, and the self-discipline which follows the wisdom, who has actually won. So if I have decided what I need to do, and if I'm able to do that throughout the day, then I won. And if I've committed myself that I am going to do these things, and because of the temptations I was not able to do, so that means I did not won that day. So this is the crux of all the four books. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we'll meet with the second verse. And in the comment box, do write what you get the crux or the information from this particular simple looking verse. Till then, after reading all these four books, there is one line which I feel that is the crux of Bhagavad Gita, which I will share with you in the last. I'll repeat that. It is karne mein savdhan, hone mein sam prasann. Jai Shri Krishna.